In this second video, we're going to start by planning our program. We're going to start by thinking about it. And the first step is to have a blank document, or just a pen and a piece of paper, and to understand what we need to do, or what we want the computer program to do for us. Okay, so we have a computer program, and it's going to manage our bank accounts. All right, and what we want to do is we want to have let's see here. We want to have, well, first of all, we have different clients. Okay, so we have private client. We have, I guess, just clients. Okay, we also have business clients. Okay, and for each one of those clients, they can have an account, keep an account balance. They can withdraw, and they can deposit. So if you haven't guessed already, balance, withdraw, deposit, those are going to be our fields and behaviors that we need to create. Deposit, withdraw, and also our business clients, they have credit limit. They have credit, which is not available for clients. All right, so our simple little computer program, this is what it's going to do. Now, normally, in this step of development, software development, this could take quite a long time. I guess the programmer or the developer or the project manager. The project manager is not always a programmer, by the way. The project manager works with the programmers, or you as a programmer or developer works with the people that know what they want to do. You're working with them to find out what the computer program is going to do, and you need to know exactly what the program is going to do before you can start doing it, obviously. Now, with that being said, no one will ever tell you exactly what the program needs to do. Maybe a teacher will. In this case, if I give you an assignment and I say, well, this, the computer program has to do A, B, C, D, but in the real world, no one will tell you exactly what it needs to do. Always, someone will come up to you and say, can you do this instead, or can it do this and this? And then 6 months later, when you're halfway done the project, they'll come back to you and say, you know what, we need this instead, or we changed our mind on this, and that is going to happen. And that is where object-oriented programming is going to come and save us. And I'll demonstrate that later. Okay, so here we have it. So we start by planning the program and thinking about as much as we possibly can what the program is going to do, and working with either the teacher in this case, or your clients, or whoever, to find out as much information as you can. What is the program going to do? Okay, once we have that information, we are ready to kind of start planning our computer program, and we're going to use something called Unified Modeling Language. So at this point, what you should do is you get onto your favorite search engine, all right, and like I mentioned last tutorial, do a word search for Unified Modeling Language. Okay, and normally, this you could spend. There's entire books written about this, about UML. But you just need to know the basics. You should spend probably however much time you can afford. I would suggest 10 or 15 minutes to read as much as you can about Unified Modeling Language. Okay, consider doing a YouTube search maybe and see what you could find on UML tutorials or something like that. And like I said in the previous tutorial, you could do a Google search, and you could also check out what you're going to find on images, and to see what you could find visually and what UML is. Okay, so after spending 10 or 15 minutes on UML, we are ready to get started. So I'm going to use a computer program to do my UML. You don't have to. What you might want to do is get out a pen and a piece of paper and follow along with the logic that I'm going to show you in the next little bit. Alright. Okay, so I have a blank piece of paper in front of me and a pencil in my hand. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a UML diagram. So this is a UML diagram. It has 3 sections, and very simply, the top section is going to be the name of the. So UML, Unified Modeling Language, is used to plan a. Is used in the initial and continuing stages of software development to plan out your classes and your your inheritance tree and how polymorphism, all that kind of stuff works. All right, ours is going to be extremely simple. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we have our UML diagram, and the very top here is going to be the name of the class. It's going to be the name of the class. All right, and in the middle section here is going to be the properties or fields associated with that class, and the bottom here section is going to be the list of methods or behaviors associated with that class. So the first one is, now this is our this is our main. So this class is called main, and in that we're going to have one behavior, and that's main. This is our main program. No one really in the right mind would put that as part of their class, but this is just introducing the idea of UML. Okay, now we're going to need we know we're going to need an account class. All right, so let's start an account class. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to draw my account UML diagram, and then at the very top, I'm going to call this diagram account. All right, so you see here account, and then what I'm going to do is, now with my account, I know that I need 2 different accounts. I need 2 different accounts. I need for each account, I know I need like a first name and I need a last name. All right, so here's my first name and my last name. And also for accounts, I know that for each account I also have like a balance. Right, so I'm going to call that balance. It's a bal for balance. There you go. Now for each account that I have, I also know the program needs to be able to deposit, withdraw. These are the behaviors I need. I need to be able to deposit money and withdraw money. And assessors, we need assessors. You don't know what they are yet, but we'll talk about them. All right. So now what we also need to do is, now although the customer didn't tell us this, we also know that you can't deposit a negative number and you can't withdraw a negative number. Depositing a negative number is the same as withdrawing, in which case you will use the withdraw behavior. Rewind that for a few seconds and play it over again. It makes sense. Withdrawing a negative number is like, you don't withdraw a negative. That's basically depositing. You don't withdraw a negative number. So we also know that we need to check for if a negative number has been entered. So here's how I can use my UML diagrams. Okay. Now what I can do is I can down here I can go check, all right, and then num, and then this behavior here could be used to check if the number is negative. But then I might say to myself, wait a sec. Now a class by definition only includes related behaviors or functionality. Now, so this is all related to deposit, withdraw. Depositing, withdrawing, and keeping the balance and balance of each account. But now checking if the number entered is negative is kind of related, but it's not really. So at this point, you might say, well, in this case, this behavior or this function is not really related to account. Therefore, check should not be in here, and maybe it should be in its own class. All right. Okay, so using UML, we could kind of visually see all our classes and kind of arrange and move things around and arrange it. It's kind of all in one. It's a very visual tool. So we might say, well, check doesn't belong in there. So let's start a new class called validate. Okay, so now that I decided that check is the behavior of checking if it's a negative number doesn't belong in this account class. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new UML diagram. I'm going to call it validate, and then in that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call. I have a method called isPositive. All right, oops. I have a method called isPositive, and And this method and behavior is going to check if the number is positive. So here I have my new class called validate, and in that I have one behavior. Okay,